In Petropavlovsk, we go to see the Christmas service. The cathedral is full. In the forefront there are officials, Cossacks and bikers, just like in Russian churches now. However, most of the worshippers are ordinary people.
Богом хранимую страну нашу казахстанскую, президента властей воинства и народ ее, Богом хранимый град наш.
Early the next morning, we leave Petropavlovsk for Omsk. We are lucky with the weather. It is bitterly cold, minus 30 degrees Celsius, but on the other hand, there are no snowstorms. We cross the border quickly enough. The roads on both the Russian and the Kazakhstan sides of the border are okay. We reach Omsk without any sign of trouble except for the stranded tractor. Omsk is the first and the only million-plus city on our road trip. In the evening, we meet the publishers of one of the Omsk Kazakh newspapers. They invite us to a tea house in the style of a Kazakh yurt. We talk about Kazakh auls or villages.
In Russia, the top three cities based on the number of Kazakhs who live there are Astrakhan, Orenburg and Omsk. According to the official population census of 2010, there are more than 78,000 Kazakhs living here in Omsk, though the real number may be higher, more than 100,000 Kazakhs. There are many mixed marriages. Not all of these families call themselves Kazakhs. In general, the Kazakh community is the second largest here, after the Russian community, and the Kazakhs living in the Omsk region have managed to preserve their culture, traditions and customs. There are about 50 Kazakh auls with Kazakh language schools, where the Kazakh language is taught as both a compulsory and an extra course. They learn Kazakh language and literature from the 1st to the 11th grade. I myself took exams in Kazakh language and literature. It was a compulsory exam. Now, you see, there is a tendency to cut back Kazakh classes, and Kazakh has become an optional course, where once it was obligatory. Today we were in Bayambet aul in Nizivaevsky district. There are about 60 households and all of them are Kazakh. Almost every family owns a horse. There are families with 10 and 20 heads of livestock, even as many as 60. There's a tradition at the end of the year, the so-called sogin, when they cut up a horse and make a chuzhok. It's a Kazakh tradition that is alive and well. And the first thing they do after cutting up a horse, they call all the relatives and guests for the umrtka. When Russians came to reclaim Siberia and Omsk, Kazakhs were already living here. They were nomads. This is why Kazakhstan citizens still see Omsk as Kazakh. It's flat here. It was perfect for grazing the cattle. And Kazakhs have always bred cattle.
We don't count ourselves an expat community here in Omsk. We see this land as a land of our forefathers. They cultivated this land, defended it, then they started to collaborate with the with the people who moved here. You said colonizers. That's an interesting slip of the tongue. But I mean the peaceful colonizers. It was a non-violent colonization. It's an important fact too. It wasn't colonization with a weapon, with a sword. In the time of the Russian Empire, they colonized lands with culture and science.
На сегодняшний день в Омске официально зарегистрированы две
Two Kazakh newspapers are registered in Omsk today. Our newspaper is called Omsk Kazakhtari, which means the Kazakhs of Omsk. The second newspaper is Zamandas, which is translated as the Contemporaries. There's a funny coincidence, we both got official media registration on the same day. We decided that the newspaper would be about the Omsk Kazakhs, about our life and ordinary people, because there are so many people to be proud of. Lots of people and events deserve to be publicized. Being young people, we still want to leave something to our children.
Why is your newspaper published in Russian?
Well, if we talk about young people, most of them can't read Kazakh.
You mean they may speak Kazakh, but they find reading it difficult?
Absolutely.
Reading is much more difficult. And to be honest, there's a lack of authors writing in Kazakh too.
There's a number of young people who enter university here in Omsk, and they know from the very beginning that after they graduate, they will move to Kazakhstan. There are good prospects in Kazakhstan if you have Russian education.
And if you speak Kazakh.
Yeah, and then they start learning Kazakh because they realize that they're going to need the language in Kazakhstan. There are many people like you in Kazakhstan, they all want to succeed. The competition is tough. Personally, for me, Kazakhstan is a place I can go for holidays, but I wouldn't move there. I might have some good prospects there.
Место, куда можно ездить в гости, куда можно ездить отдыхать, но жить там я себя не вижу. Может быть, да, для меня есть какие-то перспективы.
Many people try to persuade me to move to Kazakhstan, promising fast career progression. I believe I should stay where I was born. I'm comfortable here. If we all move to Kazakhstan, who's going to stay here and tell other Kazakhs that they are Kazakh? My sister moved to Astana. She's really happy there. But their mentality differs so much from ours.
You mean Kazakhs in Kazakhstan are different?
Yes, they differ from us. It might sound strange, but Kazakhs in Kazakhstan are like Russians in Russia.
Казахи в Казахстане — это как русские в России.
I feel I am truly myself only on this land in Omsk. When I went to Central Russia, I felt, kind of lukewarm about it. There are many Kazakhs in Tyumen and in your town, Orenburg. It feels good there. You feel good there. I met with a relative from Aktubinsk. He is a judge there. And we had a very long talk with him, and he asked a question. If there is a war between Kazakhstan and Russia, which isn't likely, of course, what side would you be on? And I was really puzzled. But I said, of course I will stand for Russia, because I was born here. And it's my homeland. I mean, I was born here, my dad was born here, my grandfather and my great-grandfather were born here. My children were born here too, and I will protect this place. What was his reply? It made him curious. We live here in Russia, and anything can happen in life. A road accident or some other incident. If someone needs my help, I'll definitely offer it. But if I see a Kazakh in such a situation, I'll give the shirt off my back, do anything for that man. If you move to Kazakhstan, there are many Kazakhs. They don't really care much about each other.
We had a lecturer, the honored teacher of Russia. She said we Russian Kazakhs were lucky to have two motherlands. We have Russia, first of all, and we have Kazakhstan. Her words sank deep into my heart. We have two motherlands.
You all have relatives in Kazakhstan, do you? They keep inviting us.
This is true. The first thing they do when they come is to agitate for us to move to Kazakhstan.
All of them do it, by the way.
I recall my uncle. He lived in a small aul till he was 50. Then he decided to move either to Omsk in Russia, where all his relatives were, or to Akmol in Kazakhstan, just 15 kilometers from Astana.
был один центр районный, Малиновка, сейчас Ахмол называется, и
He suddenly chose Kazakhstan. He had a long period of adjusting to a new life. Kazakhs and Kazakhstan were strangers for him. They even spoke a bit differently. He suddenly saw the differences between northern and southern Kazakhs, but he did it for the future of his children, or so he thought.
Do you discuss events in Kazakhstan with your family? Do you watch Kazakh news? Well, sure. Mainly it's by word of mouth. I mean, when someone comes from Kazakhstan. Do you watch Khabar or other Kazakh TV channels? It doesn't broadcast in Russia. We have here a cable operator. Can I say the brand? Portal TV. It has 36 Kazakh channels. Not everyone can afford it. Most people don't even know about it. People basically subscribe to the major operators like Rostelecom or the like, but those don't have Kazakh channels. And yet, when I watch Russian TV and see Nazarbayev, I react, hey, what's going on there?
By the way, speaking about Kazakh cable operators, Portal TV is getting more and more popular. At first, when they subscribe, they ask, are there any Russian channels? We say, yeah, sure. Later, when we meet them, they say, we don't watch Russian channels anymore. We watch Kazakh ones because we don't show war and the Ukrainian conflict. They only show movies and concerts.
After our talk in the yurt, Targin takes us to one of the main streets in Omsk, named after Chokan Valikhanov, one of the most famous Kazakhs. The monument to Valikhanov and the Kazakh consulate are on this street.